This is my 1949 Studebaker 2R5 half-ton pickup truck that my sister and I are in the process of restoring. And along the way we've been taking videos, and today I just wanted to talk about the window system found in the pickup doors. I actually pulled this all apart and I've got it laid here on top of the door to take a look at to see all the components. And what you have here primarily, this is what they call the window guide. This long arm right here, it bolts down to the bottom of the door here, and also inside the door here, and you may have to take that weather seal off to see it, but it also bolts into here. And what that does is it allows this window lift channel here, this system that holds the window, to move up and down inside of there as you open and close the windows. And then the other component found inside of there is this window regulator. That is where the window handle goes, and that's what you roll the window up and down with. And this is what they call the regulator arm. To remove the window system, the first thing you want to do is there's a panel here, a trim panel, and so you got to take the door handle off, the window handle off. You got to take off the trim panel itself to expose what's underneath there. And then what you want to do is then take the vent window assembly off, because you'll need that space to get the window out or get the window in. And then that weather seal that you find up here that the window slides up through, that needs to be removed, and that's just a function of getting a small screwdriver and prying it loose and breaking it free. Internally here, we actually do not need to remove the window regulator to get the window out. You may decide to do that if you want, but just so you know that you don't necessarily have to. First thing you do want to do though is go ahead and loosen up these two nuts and take them off of this window lift channel. And what that's going to allow you to do is to take and lift this up and slide this regulator arm off of that so that we can go ahead and take the window out. I've kind of got it positioned in a partially rolled up position. What you will have to do is you will have to roll it up a little bit more so you can expose this lower nut and then get to this upper nut, and then you should be able to take that window off. So let's go ahead and remove these nuts right quick. And I'll show you what it looks like on my project truck in just a second, so you can get a better understanding, because there are some rubber washers that go here, and you probably want to find those to put them back on the system. So I removed that. Go ahead and lift this window lift channel off of those bolts, and then you just take the whole window and you can slide it towards you. And by doing that, that window regulator arm will come off there, and as you can see, it's got that compressed washer there, that pressure washer there, that helps to keep this down onto this so that the windows won't be popping out on you. So that's kind of how the window regulator system works. Again, you can leave it on the pickup. This is where it would be mounted at. You got 4 bolts, machine screws here that you can use to mount that with. So once you have that off, the trick is then to take and turn the window at a 45 degrees, and then to just try to slide it on out of the pickup, and this whole window lift channel will go with you out through the window here. And that's why you got to take that weather seal out so you can make room for that. And that's how you would remove the window. One of the things I did want to point out about these bolts that are inside this window guide, they're actually free spinning bolts, and the only way that you can actually tighten the nut is if you look. These bolts have been trimmed off on the sides for a flat side that will allow them to come inside this channel here, and that's what keeps the bolt from spinning as you go to tighten this down. These don't necessarily need to be really tight because you got these rubber washers in here, and that's to help with the shock mitigation and also to make sure that it doesn't get too tight on you in there. So I thought I'd just point that out real quick, what kind of bolts that you had there. This is actually my driver's side door from my project truck. What I wanted to show you was that you need to roll it up till you see that nut right there exposed. Then you can loosen that up. And you can roll it down a little bit, and you can loosen this nut off. And then you can take that window lift channel and you can just rotate this window and slide that way so that your regulator arm pops off of there. And I thought I would just show that to you right quick. These are the rubber washers that I was talking about. So you got a rubber washer there, you got that star metal washer. That's what was holding on to that, and these are just good snug. They're not real tight. So it's designed to allow that window lift channel to move smoothly up and down that window guide. And that's why you got to keep that lubricated over time. One last thing I did want to talk about, and I just want to bring this to your attention. So this is the window guide that mounts up here inside of the door frame. This is out of my parts truck, and what I found is that where this mounts to the door in here is pretty flimsy, and this was broken. The mounting bracket was broken on the parts truck doors, and so it's actually pretty flimsy. It's just there to hold this in place. So if you're trying to get this out and it's pretty hard, just take your time, lubricate it, and do your best to try not to break the mounting bracket that's inside of there. So I went ahead and took apart the window system for my driver's side door in my project truck. Just wanted to go over it really quick again. Just for orientation, this is my vent window. This is my window channel that you will put in for the window to guide on, to stay in. This is your window seals right here that go around the top there. You got the window, you got the window guide, which goes through here. You got the window lift channel, which the window sits in. Again, this is what goes up and down. On these nuts right here, there's that rubber washer there. There's a star washer. And there's your nut that goes onto there. This is your regulator, and this is your regulator arm here. Again, the process is to remove the windows and stuff. You need to take this trim panel off, which includes the door handles and the window handles, so you can get into all of this. Next, what you will need to do is to remove the window seals here, and these just pop out. You can see the little clips. Just put your screwdriver right where the clip is and just work it out. Next thing you do, you get the 5 screws that holds the ventilation window here, the vent window. So you would take the vent window out. So I went ahead and removed the window channel to get it out of the way. That goes in this slot here, and that's what the window slides up on, glides with. Next thing we want to do is we need to roll the window up enough to get this window lift channel up into the slot right there. As it rolls up, it would actually be sliding up this window guide right there until it got to that spot. You can take this nut out, take this nut, remove that, and then we would just lift this up off the window guide a little, get it off the window guide, and then we would be able to move the window over enough to get this arm to slide off. Again, it has that pressure spring there that keeps that on there so that this doesn't come out or come off. And I went ahead and took my window regulator off. Now that the window regulator is off, what you would end up doing then is turning the window to a 45 degree and trying to work it out that way. You need to work it underneath or over, but this whole thing would be coming out there. So that's how the window would come out. For the window guide, I then took these 2 machine screws off from down here. But again, when I went to the top, where it mounts up into here, I ended up having to drill one out, and the other one was broken off. And so I'm going to have to replace those machine screws up there when I go back to mount this. But the mounting bracket in here is still in good shape. Hopefully that will help somebody else out there. Thank you very much, and bye.